Well, guys, with the 7th episode of She-Hulk out of the way, which was a much slower paced episode, you can see that they are saving budget for the final two. So let's talk about The Retreat. So the 7th episode of She-Hulk is going to be really interesting because I think a lot of people are going to hate it for what the episode is and missing why it's so important. So this episode is really about Jen coming to terms with the fact that maybe she doesn't always have to be She-Hulk. Maybe people actually like Jen, or just Jen, which shouts back to a previous episode. And that's one of the things that we're going to explore here, with her unfortunately getting summoned to Emil Blonsky's retreat on a Sunday. Now, if you guys want all of our thoughts on this, the audio commentary for this episode, we're going to talk a lot about why this episode is important, because there's a lot that goes on here despite very little to no action. But in essence, this episode is all about finding your inner peace, coming to terms with being yourself, and really self-discovery. And it's not just about Jen, it's about the rest of the crew that we see in the episode here. Mutants, people being experimented on, a possible vampire, they're here, and they're also trying to find themselves. Now, one of the people that's also in this is one of the members of the Wrecking Crew, and Jen has this moment where she actually, fights him because she's stuck here for half the day because her car broke down because of, again, a action sequence, a small one that involves her car getting damaged. So I really like this because, again, tying to that and tying to everything, we see that Jen is very pissed because she has other things to do on a Sunday, but she's stuck here now. So it's all about really the circumstances that lead you to where you are, the anger, and how you're going to cope with it. And a lot of the episode is just centered around this and talking through things, honestly, and trying to really come to terms with where you're at. And there's this great scene in the episode where the camera just slowly pulls in on Jen as she's just sitting there talking and kind of giving us a speech about why people are paying attention to her but not Jen when she's in Jen form. Again, there's some commentary here about the episode as well, in regards to, hey, why aren't you just the Hulk 24/7 and fighting and all this? And the episode deals with that in a great way. I thought it was honestly great from start to finish. Again, it's a very slow episode, but it's an important character building episode. And the other half of this story that's very important to this, I will talk in the next one, because that's very big for what's to come in the rest of the series and possibly the MCU. But overall, I thought this episode was great, with a nice little interesting twist on, honestly, what we expected from She-Hulk and what we got in this episode, which is, well, one of the best character moments in the episode, because it's all about the character.